What's good, y'all? You already know what it is, man. This is T Paris, aka the Young Marvin Gaye. This rap shit, most original, most creative, most in tune with the times, and I'm sort of like an inspiration. And this is P's Perspective. But let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. This week's topic of discussion is titled Social Media Revolutionaries. I thought this would be a real dope topic. Actually, it was something that was sent in from somebody else. I want to give a shout out to Kenneth Chamberlain. A few weeks back, he reached out to me and told me that's something he thought would be dope for us to discuss. At the time, I just thought it wasn't the moment because I had some other things that I wanted to implement first. But with Black History Month coming, I thought this would be a real good time to implement this topic of discussion. So let me get into it. Let me let y'all know we're talking about social media revolutionaries. Let's take a moment and jot back into time before we had Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, and all of that, Whenever we had police brutality or some type of social injustices within our community, the way that, we would discuss these topics is, through moving through the community, you stop upon some friends or family or whatever, and you mention the topic, and if they were interested, then we would continue to engage in a conversation about whatever it was that took place. And if that was something they wasn't interested in, then the topic would just keep on moving, and, we'll find something else to talk about. Well, I want to say now with social media, in play, it's like it's more popular to post something to get liked, to get shared, or to get commented upon. And so when we take some of these situations that are going on in the world, like, the Eric Gardner or the Mike Brown, the Sean Bell, people take to social media to enlighten you about what's going on. Sometimes the information is not right. Sometimes the facts definitely, be off point because we just learning as it's unfolding, people just rushing to get, the likes or the comments or what have you. And so sometimes the message or even sometimes just what the plan of action is missed and all of this. But again, I want to focus on the text, the conversation, and the email that I had with Mr. Chamberlain, because that's what today's discussion is really about. Like I mentioned, he sent me a text a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to read you the text. It said, "Peace, King. In light of all the recent murders of blacks and Hispanic males, there's been an upsurge of rallying and protesting. But are people really a part of the movement, or are they just following the movement because it seems to be the new trend?" And I thought that was a dope question. You know what I'm saying? Are people really getting behind the situation because they want to be a part of what's going on? They want to be a part of the revolution. They want to be a part of the change, or is it just because you want to be able to say that you were one of the first people to make us aware of what was going on? There's a big difference in what's going on. And I just want to take it a little further. I want to, shed some light on Mr. Kenneth Chamberlain. It's the reason why he sent me this topic, and I want to share that with you guys as well. I asked him, just jot down a couple things for me that I could share with the people so they know that this is something that's, is heartfelt and it's genuine and it's coming from, somebody who's actually been involved with what we're discussing. So this is an email that he sent to me. Email says, "There's a very big difference between being a part of a movement and just following a movement. I come from a school of thought that you want for your brother and your sister that what you want for yourself. And when I say brother and sister, I mean all races, because one works are more important than one's skin color. In order to truly affect change, don't look at victims of police brutality or any other violence as someone else's problem. Look at them as someone you love." Eldridge Cleaver said in one of his speeches, there's no more neutrality in the world. You have to be a part of the solution, or you're going to be a part of the problem. So you have a moral obligation, responsibility to step forward and do your part. Now, I wanted to wait to do this topic because, if you pay attention to some of the other things we spoke about, dependency, accountability, who am I? I wanted to implement this and have people start to think about themselves, like, where do I really stand in the grand scheme of things? Everybody can't be a revolutionary. And that's cool, you know what I'm saying, if you decide not to be that. But in not doing so, you have to be aware of the actions that you make as well. When you posting things on the internet and you're making it seem like you're there for the cause, I want to lend this piece of insight for you. When the computers shut down, we turn the lights off, we say our prayers at the end of the night, and we lay down to go to bed. That issue might just be on our mind, but But that's as far as it goes. Now, when you think about the people who are directly affected by these, situations that have occurred, such as Mr. Kenneth Chamberlain, we're gonna get into that. They still dealing with it, even after we turn the computers off, we turn the lights off, and we lay down and go to sleep. So it's not fair to them that we put forth all this effort and energy and passion online for the attention, and then when it comes to the actual movement, you know where to be found. Now, Mr. Chamberlain's dad was killed by a police officer. I want to have a moment of silence for Mr. Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. That's why this topic was so instrumental and so important. This is coming from somebody who has directly been affected by gun violence, and for us to be online or wherever it is in our walk of life and to play a position like we want to be involved, we care, we want to be proactive in what's going on and put forth that effort and that energy, and then when it's time, to be involved, you don't show up. Think about how he might feel, because he on the front line every day. That's something he got to live with every day, and again, I'm not telling everybody you got to go out there and jump on the front line and be a revolutionary, because again, that might not be in you. But there's a part for everybody to play. We got kids coming up. We got young men and women running around the neighborhood. Wow, they got that energy right now. Why not pull them to the side and help them be a part of the cause, but do so with a genuine effort? We got to stop trying to be first. Stop trying to get acknowledged for things that we don't really want to be involved in. You understand what I'm saying? I just think that it's important that if you're going to get involved with the situation that's going on, the police brutality, the marching for the lives of these people, you got to do it on a continual basis. And today I was having a conversation about this, and my brother said to me, he said, he was doing his studies, and when Rosa Parks was, refusing to get up and give her seat up on the bus, that was a march and a fight against an injustice that took 380 some odd days. So even after that moment, they still was out there marching. You understand what I'm saying? We done lost Sean Bell, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, countless other, young black men to gun violence, and for that moment, we all out there, going hard. We all on the internet posting it, going hard. I'll be first to share the information, first to say, yo, it's a rally over here. You don't show up to the rally. A week later, and we're not even talking about these people, but their lives still matter. Their families are still suffering. Mr. Chamberlain's still suffering every day. Think about his dad. So I just say that to say, there's two sides of the spectrum. You might not be one directly affected by the violence or the injustices, but if you choose to partake and get involved in the movement, do so with a genuine heart. Do so knowing that the people who have been affected are not just looking for people to show, compassion and empathy just because. They probably could do without all of that. You send your condolences and that's it. You be done with it. But if you're really trying to be involved, then let it be a 24-hour thing. Let it be something that you give 100% of your effort to. And again, it's not always about violence. It's just about being proactive and being involved, And I just want to sign off with this, man. And we as people of color, we need each other, Remember what Mr. Chamberlain said, this thing is not about white or black. It's not a race thing, My brother told me to let y'all know it's about right or wrong, morals and principles, Pick a side. And this is T. Paris, man. Toast to the town. Peace, perspective.